like, I know, sorry. Well, I'm waiting. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7 PM and welcome everyone to the Planning Commission meeting for the City of Glendora. For the audience here tonight, my name is Brian Faber, and I am the chair serving as the presiding officer over the Planning Commission meeting. In consideration of others and the business conducted tonight, please silence your phones and any electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. If you are in attendance and you wish to speak during public comment and/or during public hearing, speaker cards are located in the lobby area at the rear of the chamber. Please fill out a card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of public comment and/or public hearing. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here this evening. At this time, I'd like to request an oral roll call be conducted.
Thank you. So at this time, I would like to conduct an oral roll call and request that each member respond with present when their name is called. Commissioner Davis?
Present.
Commissioner Koss?
Present.
Commissioner Norwood?
Present.
Vice Chair Crimmins?
Present.
Chair Faber?
Present.
Let the record show all members are present.
All right, at this time, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. If Commissioner Norwood could lead us in it, that'd be great.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anyone wish to reorder or add to the agenda? Seeing none, we're going to move on. At this time, I'm going to open public comment period. I'm going to invite members of the public to address the legislative body. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once on both on and off agenda items. If you are in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of public comment period. Once recognized, speakers should advance to the podium, state your name and subject matter you wish to discuss. At this time, I'll invite speakers to do public comment. Seeing none, I'll inquire if there's any correspondences have been received.
I have not received any.
All right. At this time, we're going to close public comment period. Going to ask if there's any, I think this is presiding, I'm going to invite any reports from any commissioners at this time.
I have nothing.
All right, seeing none, I'm going to invite reports from the community director, Jeff, and assistant city attorney, Judy.
Yeah, no report this evening.
Nothing from me either.
All right. Now we're going to move on to the public hearing. The consideration of a resolution to approve a development review variance and minor modification, allowing the construction of a 2-story single-family residence and related grading over 150 cubic yards located at 644 Gordon Heights Road, project file number PLN 23-0020, applicant Frank A. Glenn from Saga Architecture, and property owner Richard Stevenson. At this time, I'd like to invite Assistant Planner Aaron to report.
Good evening, Chair Faber and members of the Planning Commission. Before you tonight is a development plan review for the property located at 644 Gordon Highlands Road. The Planning Division presents a recommendation to the Planning Commission to adopt a categorical exemption under CEQA, as well as adopt a Planning Commission resolution entitled "A Resolution of the Planning Commission Approving an Application for Development Plan Review, Variance, and Minor Modification for a New 2-Story Hillside Home with Associated Grading at 644 Gordon Highlands Road in Glendora, California." Project file number PLN 23-0020. The request is to construct a new single-family residence on a vacant lot located in the Gordon Highlands neighborhood in Glendora. And as part of as outlined within the Glendora Municipal Code. This is the project location. It is surrounded by a vacant lot to the east of the property and a newly constructed house to the west and some vacant, part of a property to the south and a residence to the north. The proposed project is the construction of a new 5,564 square foot single-family home. The residence will be 2 stories. Associated with that is new grading, and the variance is for the grading as well as the site was previously affected by unpermitted grading as part of a previous development. Along with this project is conceptual landscaping, an attached car garage, retaining walls that will be under a separate permit, and additional site improvements. Seen here are the east and west elevations. The property architectural style is contemporary architecture and does include a minor modification to allow an increase of the second floor area to reduce any additional grading within restricted grading areas or areas that have 35% or more grade that are defined on the site. As it may not be too clear on this next elevation, but the property does have a stepped foundation to minimize further grading on the site. So that's why when you see the south elevation, it may look like this. Some photo sims were created. This is view of the property to the west. This is views of the property from the northwest. This is the view of the rear of the property featuring a balcony and a covered, a covered balcony area. And this is a proposed isometric view of the front of the property, where you can see the garage and the main entrance to the residence. Conceptual landscape is seen here. There are a lot of native live oaks that are outside of the proposed project area, and limited landscaping is proposed in order to conform with fuel modification requirements. The public notice was sent out on February 20th, 2025, and they were sent out to property owners within 300 feet of the site as required per the Glendora Municipal Code. And the recommendations, again, are to adopt the CEQA categorical exemption as well as the Planning Commission resolution. The architect, Frank Lynn from Saga Architecture, is available as well should you have any questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Aaron. At this time, I'd like to invite Frank from Saga Architecture if you would like to present, although not needed. You have 10 minutes if you need.
My name is Frank Glynn. I'm the architect for the project, and thank you, Chair Faber and commissioners, for your consideration. This has been a long process to get here, and thanks to Aaron for his patience with us. We took over this project. There was, well, firstly, the grading that was done on the site was done prior to the purchase by my client, the current owner, Dr. Stevenson. He had a previous architect who had designed a house on there, but didn't quite work out. He hired us. We went through a few different iterations because up there you have to get the approval of the homeowners association. So we had a design that was maybe a little more radical, but we've toned it down a bit. And then we also pared it down a little bit to meet the maximum second floor percentage area that's allowed in the Glendora Planning Code. It's interesting site in that there is 2 pads
that they're already on the site. They're about 10-foot difference between the two pads. So we use that to build a house kind of into the hillside. Something that also was mentioned is that this is a downslope lot. So the driveway actually comes down about 40 feet from Gordon Highlands down to the level area where the house is. I think you saw the view. Well, let's see if I can.
I can get.
Yeah. So yeah, there's actually an existed graded driveway. Obviously not finished, but we're using that to get down to the level where the house is. And then beyond the house, the land just drops off. It's a rural area with no other lots below it, so it has a great view actually of the Imperial Valley. The material palette, we've kept it quite simple. It's a metal roof, some stucco stone siding, and then we had shown wood siding as well, but given what we've just learned in the last few months, we'll probably go with some kind of metal instead of wood. And we also have the swimming pool. So the living floor is on the top level, and the bedrooms are all on the lower level. So, and we squeezed it in to the height limit, which I think was 25 feet. So we have quite low sloping roofs to try and get the maximum ceiling height inside. So that's really it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Great, thank you. At this time, I'm going to open public testimony and invite members of the public. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking only on the agenda item. If you are in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of public testimony period. Once recognized, speakers should advance to the podium and state your name. It's time I'd invite any speakers.
We have none.
Seeing none. I'm going to close the public testimony portion of the public hearing. Frank, you can be invited to speak again, but I'm not sure if it's necessary.
Okay, I'll sit down and.
Perfect. So I'm going to close the public hearing and start the discussions and deliberations from the commissioners. Commissioner Koss?
Yeah, I don't really have any questions. I think it's well-designed. I think it's very, especially given what we've seen in the last few months in terms of conflagration, it seems like you've done a good job to design it to be fire-resistant and with the metals, and I really don't have any concerns. Seems like it's very well-designed.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Davis?
I've got a couple questions. Frank, one for you, or I should say Mr. Glenn. Seeing as how this property sits down, you said 40 feet, are there rain gutters? How do you control with hard surfaces, the house being one of them, driveways, walkways, pool areas? How do you control runoff water
Yeah.
when it's down?
So we have low-impact development as part of it. So we're taking all the water from the hardscape into
I saw a rain
planters.
garden.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then actually we have a provision to have an ejector pump take it up to the street if
Okay.
we get over the amount we can handle.
Did we approve this previously? You said it was graded. Was it rough graded or final graded, or would have been final graded?
Well, I think it was rough graded without a permit. That's part of what you're approving now is to.
Okay.
Do you want to talk to that?
Yes, so Gordon Highlands, back when the subdivision was originally created. Oh, sorry, there was some feedback. Oh, okay. It's okay. So during the subdivision construction, there was some unpermitted grading that was later resolved by the city within another engineering company. So essentially, houses that are being built on properties that were affected by the unpermitted grading, the variance process is also applied to remediate any additional grading or to ensure that the pad is built within or is not built within any restricted grading areas to further.
This is another one of those, and these two guys weren't here, two commissioners weren't here when we approved any of the last ones.
One of the ones that was illegally graded.
Yeah, there's still a handful of them up there that's still to come. So they pretty much get a pass for any grading going on up there. Is that a bit of a correct statement?
Yeah, I don't think getting a pass is probably the way I would put it. I mean, it's been a very, very long time, but, there was unpermitted grading done. What happened is there was a permit granted for the road when construction started back in the early 2000s, and there was some unpermitted grading of areas beyond the road. And so that was resolved after a long process. The builder had to pay lots of very expensive fees, a take permit from the State Fish and Wildlife Service. And so now, that was resolved and done in 2008. And so subsequently after that, just for those of you who are newer on the commission, we started getting applications. Actually, it wasn't until the original builder got a take permit in 2012. So the city resolved somebody can verify or I can verify my timeline, but the city resolved the unpermitted grading around 2008. They got a take permit from the state around 2012, and then they were able to start selling the lots and begin construction. So you start seeing some of the first lots, and they were sold individually. These are all custom homes. So when these come before the Planning Commission to approve, the reason you're looking at it is for grading. And the way the city handled the unpermitted, one of the things the city did back in 2008, it did not grant any variances for areas that would have at that time required a variance, if that makes sense. So they affected areas that would have required a variance. The city did not grant variances. And so instead, the resolution was that each time a home comes to you in the Gordon Highlands, we will grant the variance for the previous unpermitted grading that was done, affecting 35% or greater slopes. And also the point was to try to limit any additional grading and enlargement of the pad areas. So when we're looking at the plans, we have a lot of historical records on the Gordon Highlands subdivision, and the planners are looking at to make sure that they're not really expanding the pad area beyond what was graded back in 2004. So that's why that's when he, I think, says it was previously graded. That's what he's referring to. So that's a little bit of a long way of.
So where does the 150, over 150 come in?
So-
Are we just proving what was done previously?
No,
This is in addition to?
This is in addition. So anything over 150 cubic yards of new grading triggers a review by the Planning Commission.
How many cubic yards is it?
Oh, goodness. I have it here. Where was it?
It's not a big deal, just
Yeah,
more out
I-
of curiosity than anything.
It's not much. Let's see, I had it here. I apologize, in my staff report.
So I'm reading it, it looks like it says 1,713 yards of cut and 730 yards of fill.
So it's just over
No, it's 1,000.
15, right? 15 is what the trigger is.
Were there any responses to the notices that went out?
Staff did not receive any comments.
Okay, I'm good, thank you.
Commissioner Norwood?
It looks like a good project to me. I have no comments or questions.
Vice Chair Crimmins?
No, I think, thank you, Jeff, for kind of the historical background. Makes it make a little more sense. I appreciate it. But other than that, no, it looks good.
I also think it looks good, and I think it'll be a nice addition. Hopefully you can get it done out there.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So I think I have to read the whole thing, right? Yep. So at this time, I'm going to request a motion to adoption of a categorical exemption pursuant to 15303 of the California Environmental Quality Act and Guidelines, and adopt Planning Commission Resolution PC 2025-05 entitled, "A Resolution of the Planning Commission Approving an Application for Development Plan Review, Variance and Minor Modifications for a New Two-Story Hillside Home with Associated Grading at 644 Gordon Highlands Road, Glendora, California, Project File Number PLN 23-0020.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, so at this time, I'm going to
We have
announce
an
that.
issue with the voting right now, so I'm going to have to do it verbally. So a motion was made by Commissioner Cost, seconded by Vice Chair Crimmins. So I'll call an oral roll call. Commissioner Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Cost,
Aye.
Commissioner Norwood,
Aye.
Vice Chair Crimmins,
Aye.
Chair Faber.
Aye,
Motion carries 5-0.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to the consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless a commissioner has requested it be removed for a separate discussion. Does anyone wish to comment on item number 3? Seeing none, I would request a motion and second to affirm consent calendar item number 3 as presented.
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second.
So that one works. So go ahead and start voting.
It says yeah
Motion carries.
Yeah.
instead of aye.
I told you we should have a little
Am I
thumbs up.
supposed to say so? Okay, yeah.
We should have a
Yep.
little,
I'm going to announce that a
Thumbs up
motion
and
was made by Vice Chair Crimmins and seconded by Koss for a, Commissioner Koss for a call for a vote, and announce the results that the motion carried. Right?
That was actually Commissioner Norwood that
Oh, sorry.
seconded.
Sorry.
he's just used to me always making them, that's all.
Getting mixed up on the colors here. All right, we're going to move on to the new business. The consideration of a 12-month extension of a development plan review permit for a new medical office building at 630 West Foothill Boulevard. Applicant Brad Freeman, property owner Joseph Perez, Real Estate, PTNS, LLC, project file number PLN 25-0005. At this time, I'm going to invite City Planner Mark Carnahan to report.
Good evening, Chair Faber and members of the commission. Before you tonight is a time extension request on a previously approved development plan review to construct a two-story, 9,500 square foot medical office building located at 630 West Foothill Boulevard, which is set to expire tomorrow. The file number for the previously approved project was PLN 22-0044. On September 5th, 2023, the Planning Commission approved the DPR and CEQA to construct the proposed project. The conditions of approval require the construction of the project begin within 12 months. The subject site is located on the south side of Foothill Boulevard between Valencia and Street and Grand Avenue. To accommodate the redevelopment of the project site, it would remove an existing structures that are about 3,000 square feet. The previous submitted plans are right here, so there are no changes to the proposed project. The following slides I'm going to show you just are a reminder of what the project was. This is the approved kind of site plan. It also includes kind of an overlay of the underside. This was a structure that has parking underneath it, and the floor area is above it. And one aisle is clear to sky, and the other one is you have to go underneath the building. It's kind of a contemporary modern design. The property owners cited several items that contributed to the reasons for the current time extension request, which included COVID-related delays, interest rate increases, bonding, supply chain issues, changing of their architect, and the plan check process. Currently, project-related permits are nearing completion for issuance. In fact, some of the related permits are already approved and actually ready and on a hold for issuance. There was actually a question on if they would actually need the time extension because they were so close on pulling some of their permits that we might not need to do this, but it's just the timeline has happened that they're going to need this, and it's not going to be probably realistically much of an extension. It's going to be probably days or weeks or months. Staff notes that this is the first request for an extension. It is a 12-month request, but like I said, they probably won't need it. If approved, the extension would go until March 5th, 2026. Finally, staff recommends approval of the request. I'm available for any questions, and the applicant, I think, is also available via Zoom if you have any questions.
Thank you. All right, now I'll open up to discussion and deliberations. Commissioner Norwood.
I have no comments.
Commissioner Koss.
I'm just drawing a blank on where this is. What, I know you said Foothill and Valencia, but like, give me a land, like, what is it by? I'm drawing a blank in my head.
Okay, it'd be kind of across the street from where that new housing development is, the Spanish ones are across the street,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
It'd be kind of where the mini storage is and where the other new office building is. It's like west of them by one or two lots.
Okay.
So if you like maybe the Goodwill and go like 5 lots over.
Oh, okay. All right. I know it. I know where you're talking
Right
about.
now it has like 2 buildings on it. They almost look like portables to me, but they're not. And
Okay.
it's just like tons of like it looks like volunteer palm trees and stuff on it. It's a mess.
Okay, I know where you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any questions. I'm fine with it.
Commissioner Davis.
Just one, and it's just a general question. We don't get these too often across our desk, but how many of these do we get versus how many we don't have to extend?
I don't know if I can answer that. I mean, I'd say
I guess where
more
I'm
than half of
going-
the more than half of the projects you approve, just go get the approvals, and go half. Maybe a third of them, or maybe 25% of them don't even happen. They just die and nothing ever happens. Any of the other ones?
And I guess where I was going with that is, maybe we need to change the 12 months to 15 months or something.
Well, yes. Also note that this will probably be the last ones you see. The code change that you guys has just happened is most of these are going to be done through director level.
Yeah,
in the
okay.
future.
That's all I have.
Vice Chair Crimmins.
Nothing for me. Thank you.
Also, nothing for me. Thank you. Good job. At this time, I'm going to request a motion and second to adopt Planning Commission Resolution PC 2025-06 entitled A Resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Glendora, California, approving a 12-month time extension for a previously approved development plan review application related to a new medical office building project located at 630 West Foothill Boulevard, project extension file number PLN 250004.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, at this time, I'm going to announce, that the motion was made by Koss and seconded by Davis, Commissioner Davis, and call for a vote. I will announce the results that the motion carried 5-0. Okay. Moving on to the next item, number 5 on the agenda, the 2024 Annual General Plan Progress Report and Housing Element Implementation Annual Progress Report. At this time, I'll invite Senior Planner Yelena Siva to report.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Faber and the members of the commission. Staff is requesting that the Planning Commission receive and file the state's annual general plan progress report update and the housing element implementation annual progress report for the 2024 calendar year. The state requires that the city submit a general plan annual progress report to City Council to the Office of Planning and Research, the Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD, and on the status of the general plan, its implementation progress, and how the city is meeting the region's housing needs. The general plan is often referred to as the blueprint of the city and is a comprehensive, long-range plan that provides the framework for future growth and enhancements. The city completed a comprehensive general plan update in 2007, which is known as the Community Plan 2025. It is comprised of various elements that are required and each address various topics and provide goals, policies, and programs. The elements can be updated whenever needed, except for the housing element, which needs to be updated every 8 years. The most recently updated element is the housing element, which was approved by HCD in August of '23, and the safety element is currently being updated and is in the process. The state also requires that a progress report be submitted on a yearly basis to provide an update of the city's progress in implementing its policies and programs identified in the general plan. Additionally, the report also gives an update on how many housing units were constructed during the reporting period, which is a 9-year period. HCD uses this information to track the city's housing information, including the city's progress report toward its share of the regional housing needs. The city is currently in its 6th cycle of the housing element, which was approved by the city council in '22 and approved by the state in August 10th of '23. There are 16 housing programs that address the community housing needs. During the reporting period of the last annual year, January 1st, 24 to December 31st of 2024, the following were approved, permitted, and completed. So initially, the Planning Commission and City Council entitled a total of 160 housing units. The Building and Safety Division permitted 51 single-family homes, ADUs, and multifamily units. And the Building and Safety Division also conducted a total of 6 final inspections for single-family homes, ADUs, and multifamily units. We'll go through a few of the more notable accomplishments for each of the elements. We'll go through a few that we had some highlighted projects. This one is 723 731 East Route 66. In '24, City Council approved entitlements for the rezoning of commercial parcels, which were then rezoned to the development of 39 residential units. The next one is 1237 Bonnie Cove Avenue, which is when City Council approved the development of a subdivision consisting of 30 detached units on fee simple lots, and this is in '21. Project construction is in starting now. We have also a commercial development for a medical office, and this was the Planning Commission approved in '24 of last year. We'll go through a circulation element highlight. This is regarding the Safe Streets program. There's a crosswalk installation at Foothill and Minnesota Avenue. This is part of the Safe Streets program. And here is an open space and recreation highlight with one of the parks for a park shade structure project. And the next steps include that the general plan annual progress report and the housing element implementation annual progress report has to be submitted to City Council prior to it being filed with the state, which has a deadline of April 1st. The recommendation is that the Planning Commission receive and file the general plan annual progress report and the housing element implementation annual progress report. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. At this time, we'll open it up for discussion and deliberations. Commissioner Koss?
I just think it's kind of neat to see some of those projects that I was there to approve and seeing them finished. It's like, wow, I remember when we approved those. That's kind of cool. So thank you for that.
Commissioner Davis?
Yeah, I recognize them. When is the due date for the next general plan?
So what our current general plan is to substantially revise the current general plan? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So the current plan's called Community Plan 2025. So the plan is that as soon as there's a couple of longer range projects that we're going to finish, one being the objective design guidelines and the other being the station area visioning plan. Both of those things you're going to see soon again, although we've had a couple workshop meetings on those. And then to start working on a comprehensive update of the general plan, starting toward the end of this year. And that will probably be a 2-year process, which will occur over 26 and 27. But that will happen. So we're pretty, within this year is when we're going to start it, toward the end of the year.
Thank you.
Commissioner Norwood,
No, I have no comments. Thank you.
Vice Chair Crimmins.
No comments from me. Thank you for the information.
Also, same for me. Thank you for the information, but no comments. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to request a motion and second to receive and file the 2024 General Plan Review Progress Report and the Housing Element Implementation Annual Progress Report.
Oh, why not? I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, I'm going to announce that a motion was made, or a motion was made by Commissioner Koss and seconded by Vice Chair Crimmins, and I'll call for a vote. The results are 5-0 that the motion is carried. All right, at this time, I'm going to invite commissioners and staff, if they choose, to give a closing statement. No?
We will have a planning commission meeting next month.
All right, thank you. All right, well, it's record time, so at this time, I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 7:36. I think I had it right.